Listen closely, because this moment is not loud. It does not beg for your attention. It waits for you to be quiet enough to feel it. And if you've ever wondered why some people never chase, never explain, never panic in love, yet always seem desired, respected, and remembered, this is where the answer begins, right here, in the space between words, in the tension of silence, in the control of a man or woman who knows their own power and never leaks it away. There is a truth most people never hear because it is not shouted, it is not posted, it is not explained, and it does not come with comfort, and that truth is this: the strongest force in any relationship is not passion, not affection, not sex, not even love, but restraint, because desire grows where there is space, and respect grows where there are boundaries, and Stoicism understood this long before modern relationships forgot it. In a world obsessed with saying everything, showing everything, giving everything too fast, the Stoic stands still, watches, listens, and chooses silence not as weakness, but as strategy, as self-respect, as quiet dominance. Most people think silence means you don't care, but in reality, silence is often the loudest signal of control, because when you stop reacting, when you stop chasing, when you stop explaining your worth, something shifts in the dynamic. The other person begins to feel the absence, the gap, the unanswered space, and that space creates tension, curiosity, longing. This is not manipulation, this is alignment with nature, because attraction has always followed mystery, and desire has always leaned toward what is not fully available. Stoic philosophy teaches that you must first master yourself before you attempt to connect deeply with another, because when you need someone to complete you, you place your power in their hands. But when you are complete alone, connection becomes a choice, not a dependency. In relationships between men and women, this difference is everything. One energy clings, explains, overgives, seeks reassurance. The other remains grounded, present, observant, and calm. Shigil kedu at him once ss, which one is just once, but in that glancere, guess which one is desired. There is something deeply intimate about restraint. True intimacy is not exposure without boundaries. It is trust built slowly, deliberately, through consistency and self-control. A Stoic understands that attraction deepens when emotions are regulated, not dumped, when words are chosen, not spilled, when touch is earned, not rushed. This is why silence can feel almost sensual, because it allows anticipation to breathe. It allows desire to grow in the mind before it ever reaches the body. In modern dating culture, everything is immediate. Text back fast. Explain how you feel. Clarify everything. Remove all tension, remove all mystery, but Stoicism teaches the opposite. It teaches that not every thought needs a voice, not every emotion needs an audience, and not every desire needs immediate fulfillment. When you slow down, when you pause, when you allow moments to linger, you create a psychological pull that is far stronger than constant availability. Think about the moments that stayed with you the longest. It was never the person who told you everything. It was the one who left something unsaid, the glance that lasted a second too long, the pause before a response, the calm confidence that did not rush to impress. That is Stoic attraction. That is controlled energy. That is power. A Stoic man does not chase validation through sex, and a Stoic woman does not trade mystery for attention. Both understand that intimacy without self-mastery leads to emptiness. They do not fear desire, but they are not ruled by it. They enjoy passion, but they do not let passion control their decisions. This balance creates an aura that others feel but cannot easily explain. Silence in a relationship does not mean emotional distance. It means emotional strength. It means you are not afraid of losing someone because you are not lost without them. It means you can sit with discomfort without begging for reassurance. It means you trust yourself enough to let things unfold naturally. And when you embody this, something powerful happens. The other person leans in. They start to invest. They begin to wonder where they stand, not because you played games, but because you refused to abandon yourself. Stoicism is not about suppressing desire. It is about understanding it. Desire is a fire. Uncontrolled, it burns everything down. Controlled, it provides warmth, light, and intensity. In relationships, this means knowing when to speak and when to stay quiet, when to pursue and when to pull back, when to touch and when to let the moment breathe. This rhythm is what creates deep attraction. Many people confuse emotional expression with emotional intelligence. Stoicism does not teach you to be cold. It teaches you to be deliberate. There is a difference between vulnerability and emotional chaos. A Stoic chooses vulnerability carefully, shares depth without desperation, intimacy without neediness. This creates a sense of safety and intrigue at the same time, which is rare and deeply magnetic. When it comes to intimacy, the Stoic understands that anticipation is often more powerful than action. A look held just long enough, a touch that is confident but unhurried, a presence that is calm, grounded, and fully there. These moments create a psychological connection that goes beyond the physical. Sex becomes an extension of connection, not a substitute for it. In American culture, strength is often misunderstood as dominance or aggression, but Stoic strength is quiet. It is the strength to walk away when something disrespects your values, the strength to remain calm when emotions rise, the strength to desire deeply without losing yourself. This is especially powerful in relationships, where emotional volatility often replaces real connection. Silence becomes a test, not for the other person but for you. Can you resist the urge to over-explain? Can you sit with uncertainty? Can you allow someone else to reveal themselves without interrupting the process? When you can, you gain clarity. You see who respects you and who only wants attention. You see who is drawn to your essence and who is only reacting to your availability. Stoicism teaches that attachment is the root of suffering, but connection is not attachment. Attachment demands outcomes. Connection allows experience. When you release the need to control how someone feels about you, you become more attractive, not less. You move differently. You speak less but say more. You listen more than you talk. And in that space, real intimacy can grow. There is something undeniably alluring about a person who is comfortable in silence. It signals confidence. It signals self-trust. It signals depth. In a world of noise, the quiet presence stands out. In relationships, this quiet becomes a form of emotional leadership. You are not reactive. You are responsive. You are not chasing. You are choosing. Stoic relationships are not about power over the other person. They are about power over the self. When both partners practice this, the connection becomes stable, passionate, and enduring. When only one does, that person still maintains dignity, clarity, and peace, regardless of the outcome. Sexual energy, when aligned with Stoic principles, becomes intentional rather than impulsive. It is expressed with confidence, not hunger, with presence, not urgency. This kind of energy is felt deeply. It creates attraction that is calm but intense, steady but powerful. It is not loud, but it is unforgettable. Many people fear silence because it forces them to face themselves. Stoicism invites that confrontation. When you are at peace with who you are, silence becomes comfortable. You no longer need constant reassurance. You no longer need to perform. You simply are. And that authenticity is what draws others in. In relationships, the Stoic understands timing. Not everything needs to happen now. Not every feeling needs immediate expression. Letting moments unfold naturally creates depth. It allows trust to build. It allows desire to mature. Rushed intimacy often fades quickly. Controlled intimacy lingers. There is a reason Stoic philosophy is trending again. People are exhausted by emotional chaos. They crave stability, depth, and meaning. They crave relationships where passion is balanced with respect, where intimacy is grounded in self-mastery. Stoicism offers that path, not through rigid rules, but through inner discipline. When you stop chasing, you start attracting. When you stop explaining, you start being understood. When you stop reacting, you start leading. This applies to love, desire, intimacy, and connection. Silence becomes your ally. Self-control becomes your foundation. In the end, Stoicism in relationships is about freedom. Freedom from emotional dependency, freedom from fear of loss, freedom to experience connection without losing yourself. It is about standing firmly in who you are, allowing others to meet you there if they choose, and if they don't, you remain whole. Calm, grounded, unmoved. That is the quiet power of Stoicism. That is the attraction that does not fade. That is the kind of presence that lingers long after the words are gone, long after the touch has ended, because it was never about the noise. It was always about the strength beneath the silence.